Morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of WNBA Top Prize Picks Plays presented by Prize Picks. I am Cooper Boni for OddsShopper. You guys can find me on social media at CrashboardsDFS. A couple of Prize Picks plays for tonight's Game 5, guys. But before we hop into that, as always, let's talk a little bit about our picks from the other night. We took Breanna Stewart over 35.5 PRA. She destroyed that. She had 32 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists, of course. She had 32 out of her 35.5 in the first half. She ended with 42 points in the game. So we hit that easily. Great play. And also DeWanna Bonner, we took her over 25.5 fantasy. She ended up with 40-plus fantasy scores. So we had a very sweat-free night for those game 4s. Now we roll into the last game 5 of the semifinals, guys, the winner go home game to decide who will play the Aces in the WNBA finals. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into those picks, guys. First one I want to talk about, you guessed it. We're going back. Jumped up from 25.5 to 29.5. DeWanna Bonner fantasy score. We are going to take the over at 29.5. As I mentioned, well, I actually said she had 40-plus. She had a 50-plus fantasy score game last game. The 40-plus came before that, and the 36 and the 39 came 2 games before those. So, yeah, she's just been absolutely eating. We're going to go right back to it. A couple of notes here, guys. Kind of similar to the notes from the other night, just updated with numbers. She has a very high fantasy point ceiling, which she has showed in her last 2 games and 4 of her last 5, really. She's averaging 35.6 fantasy score per game over her last 5. If you omit that dud against Chicago in game 2, guys, that was a dud. She barely shot. She was not active. You can tell that is a true outlier when you look at her fantasy scores over the last 5. Omit that. Her fantasy score over those last 4 games, so games 1, 3, and 4 against Chicago and that final game against Dallas last series, and those 4 games, her fantasy score average is 42.6. So 13 or so points over this prop. In a must-win scenario tonight, guys, she's a veteran player. I expect her to play her best game. These are the type of games that players like Bonner, like Jonquel Jones, like Alyssa Thomas should step up in. I expect to see less from the players like Natisha Heidemann and Brianna Jones and players of that nature. But the stars, the best players on the team, I expect them to step up. It isn't just the playoffs causing Bonner to play well against Chicago, guys. In her final 2 regular season matchups with the Sky, she averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. That was good for an average fantasy score of 35.7. That says that's over 10 fantasy points higher than this prop. Obviously, that was when it was 25.5. It's been bumped to 29.5. So she was averaging 6 fantasy score over this in her last 2 regular season games against Chicago. Obviously, against Chicago, she's doing very well in the postseason. The Sky lost game 2. That was Bonner's dud. She shot 6 times. Games 1, 3, and 4, Bonner averaged 14 field goal attempts per game. I expect her usage to be closer to how it was in games 1, 3, and 4, rather than what it looked like in game 2 when she had that rough outing. And guys, I've been clamoring for Jonquel Jones to step up and look like this team's best player. She is the reigning WNBA MVP. She's a fantastic player. Something looks off with her. I don't know if she's nursing an injury. I'm really not sure, but I've been clamoring for Jonquel Jones to step up, saying this is their best player. She needs it. It looks like Bonner's their best player. It really does. Even defensively, she had 7 stocks last night, so she's averaged 3 stocks per game over the series as well. Just a few really good games for Bonner, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to roll right back with it. Look, whenever she's gone over, guys, in her last 5, she goes over. She is a very, very good player in moments like this. So DeWanna Bonner over 29.5 fantasy score is the first pick. Before we get into the second pick, guys, as always, want to mention this show is brought to you by Prize Picks. You guys head on over there. They will match your first deposit up to $100. No promo code necessary. Just click the link down below and it'll get you on over there. Prize Picks is a fun new way to gamble, guys. Basically, you put together 2 to 5 prop parlay slips. You can do flex plays or power plays, depending on if you're really confident or not that night. Like I said, guys, head on over there. They will match your first deposit up to $100. That's a great promo. That's a great deal. And as I mentioned, no promo code. Just click the link down below and it'll take you on over there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the second and final pick of the night. We are going to roll with Candace Parker over 15.5 first half points, rebounds, and assists. Couple of notes for this one, guys. She's been dominant in 3 of this series' 4 games. Before last game, she had gone over this prop in every game this series, averaging 20 PRA per first half. This is game 5, guys. Win or go home, at home. I expect her to have the juice again like she's had so many times in this playoffs. If you guys have watched these playoffs, you've seen a few games where Candace Parker comes out the gates hot. She has the crowd behind her, or if she's in away games, she's battling it out with the crowd. I mean, she really has impressed this postseason. A couple games with record-breaking postseason numbers. I can't see her coming out and playing poorly in this game. And she's been taking games over early. So that's why I want to go ahead, let her get out of this hot start and take the first half PRA. She has been jacking up shots in this series. For some reason, she just was not pulling the trigger last game. But in games 1 to 3, she averaged over 14 field goal attempts per game. So the usage has been there. The shot attempts have been there. She's also averaged nearly 15 rebounds plus assists versus the Sun in this postseason. So she's getting it done in other ways other than just scoring. Her rebounding's been very good other than 1 game this series. Also, Parker's teammates have not been having too many great games. She's the obvious focal point of everything they do offensively, even defensively. It's not a great strategy for this guy because they are the most successful whenever Kalia Copper, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley are getting into the mix. Unfortunately, this is where they're at right now. They're kind of dependent on Candace Parker. So if they're going to depend on Parker, we need to also do the same thing. Go ahead and take either this PRA or fantasy score. For me personally, I like the PRA in the first half. And as I said, guys, this is a win or go home game 5 in Chicago. Look for Candace Parker to come out hot. Look for her to come out excited and look for her to play juice in front of this home crowd. That pick, guys, Candace Parker over 15.5 first half points, rebounds, and assists. The other pick, DeWanna Bonner, over 29.5 projected fantasy score. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the OddsShopper YouTube page. So much content, so many content creators putting out good stuff. We have stuff for PGA, MLB, UFC, WNBA, of course, NBA right around the corner, and NFL starting tonight, guys. I know everyone's really excited for that. So everybody have fun watching that season opener for the NFL tonight. If you're going to watch some of the WNBA game, good luck. If you're just gambling on it, I hope you guys win a little bit of money. I will talk to you guys before game 1 of the 2022 WNBA finals, guys. No matter who gets in the finals from this series, it's going to be a great final. So can't wait for that. I'll talk to you guys soon. And until next time, guys, later.